Hello everyone. Today in this lecture I am going to discuss the concepts of UML, that is Unified Modeling Language. Why it is used, what are the goals of UML, we will see in the coming slides. So what is UML? Unified Modeling Language is a general purpose modeling language. This can be used for the general purpose also. The main aim of UML is to define a standard way to visualize the way a system has been designed. Means using this language we can visualize the way a system has been designed. The way system is designed, we can visualize that. It is quite similar to blueprints used in other fields of engineering. Another point is UML is not a programming language like C, C++, Java. It is rather a visual language. So we can say Unified Modeling Language is a visual language. We use UML diagrams to portray the behavior and the structure of a system. UML helps software engineers, businessmen, and system architects with modeling, design, and analysis. Means UML helps us for the modeling, for the design of the system, for the analysis of the system. So the Object Management Group OMG adopted Unified Modeling Language as a standard in which year? In 1997. It's been managed by Object Management Group ever since. So International Organization for Standardization, that is ISO, published UML as an approved standard in 2005. Means Object Management Group adopted this language in the year 1997 and ISO published UML as approved standard in 2005. So UML has been revised over the years and it is reviewed periodically. Time to time it was reviewed and is revised. Okay. Now UML is a standard language for specifying, visualizing, constructing, and documenting the artifacts of software systems. So UML is basically used for the documenting, constructing, visualizing, and specifying the systems. Which type of systems? Artifacts of the software systems. UML was created by the Object Management Group and UML 1.0 specification draft was proposed to the Object Management Group in the January 1997. Object Management Group is continuously making efforts to create a truly industry standard. UML stands for the Unified Modeling Language and it is different from the other common programming languages such as C++, Java, COBOL, C, etc. UML is a pictorial language used to make software blueprints. It is used for making the blueprints of the softwares. UML, Unified Modeling Language, can be described as a general purpose visual modeling language to visualize, specify, construct, and document software systems. Although UML is generally used to model software systems, it is not limited within this boundary. It is also used to model non-software systems as well. means it is not limited for only software systems. It can be used to model non-software systems as well. For example, the process flow in a manufacturing unit. If there is any for example, car manufacturing unit, and what is the process flow during whole process? What is the flow? We can model it using UML. UML is not a programming language, but tools can be used to generate code in various languages using UML diagrams. So UML has a direct relation with object-oriented analysis and design. After some standardization, UML has become an object management group standard. So these are the points, important points regarding unified modeling language. Now, the goals of UML. What are the goals of the UML? We can say the goal of UML is to provide a standard notation that can be used by all object-oriented methods and to select and integrate the best elements of precursor notations. For example, UML includes the use case diagrams introduced by object-oriented software engineering and uses many features of the object modeling techniques class diagram. UML also includes new concepts that were not present in other major methods at the time, such as extension mechanism and the constraint language. So we can say that UML has been designed for a broad range of applications. Hence, it provides constructs for a broad range of systems and activities. For example, which type of activities? Distributed systems, analysis, system design, deployment. Okay. So the goals of UML, here the first point is a picture is worth 1,000 words. Yes, this is true, and this idiom absolutely fits describing UML. So UML works in the same way as a picture. A picture is worth 1,000 words. So object-oriented concepts were introduced much earlier than UML. At that point of time, there were no standard methodologies to organize and consolidate the object-oriented development. It was then that UML came into picture. Now the second point is, there are a number of goals for developing UML. There are a number of goals for developing UML, but the most important goal is to define some general purpose modeling language which all modelers can use, and it also needs to be made simple to understand and use. UML diagrams are not only made for developers but also for business users, common people, and anybody interested to understand the system. This system can be a software or non-software system. Thus, it must be clear that UML is not a development method. Rather, it accompanies with processes to make it a successful system. So, UML system is not a development method. Rather, it accompanies with processes to make it a successful system. So in conclusion, we can say that the goal of UML can be defined as a simple modeling mechanism to model all possible practical systems in today's complex environment. So in one sentence, we can say that UML is a simple modeling mechanism, and because it is simple modeling mechanism, so it will model the all possible practical systems in the today's environment. Whatever the problem is, we can model it. Okay, so if we talk about the system development, so system development focuses on three different models of the system: the functional model, the object model, and the dynamic model. What is functional model? Functional model, represented in UML with use case diagrams, describes the functionality of the system from the user's point of view. What about the object model? Object model, represented in UML with class diagrams, describes the structure of the system in terms of objects, in terms of attributes, associations, and operations. So during requirement and analysis, the object model starts as the analysis object model and describes the application concepts relevant to the system. So during system design, the object model is refined into the system design object model, and it includes the descriptions of the system, subsystem interfaces. Okay. Now the third is the dynamic model. Dynamic model, represented in UML with interaction diagrams, state machine diagrams, activity diagrams, and these describes the internal behavior of the system. Interaction diagrams describe behavior as a sequence of messages exchanged among a set of objects, whereas state machine diagrams describes behavior in terms of states of an individual object and the possible transitions between states. And activity diagrams describes behavior in terms of control flow and the data flow. Okay. So the next point is, do we really need UML? Do we really need UML?